You better give me my green card or I stop watching your kid with special needs and I leave back to Egypt. The most recent episode of 90 Day Fiancé is titled The Elephant in the Womb. I know that Emily's gained some weight, but I wasn't expecting them to be so savage about it because in this episode it's revealed that Emily and Kobe are having another baby.
How long do you think you can keep this from your parents?
Until I'm like showing. I mean, like, what are you even feeling right now?
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Episode opens up with Patrick and Thais, and Patrick tells Thais their wedding plans because he likes to make all the decisions in their relationship.
22 is my lucky number. Matt and Tiffany, she's my older sister, are already planning a family vacation in Orlando right around this time. So 2/22/22 just seems like the perfect date to get married.
Thais reminds Patrick that she wanted to get married at one of those drive-through chapels in Las Vegas and he wasn't about it. So she's getting really frustrated because she feels like he just gets to make all the decisions and her opinion doesn't matter in this relationship.
You like to control everything.
Why do you think we're having this conversation? If I didn't care, I would just book everything and that would be it. Because I'm the one paying for it, so really, like, I can do that.
Daddy, chill.
Obviously, Patrick is getting very frustrated with the added expenses that Thais brings to the table. My problem with this is that he originally attracted this girl with money by dropping bans on her in Brazil. But because of the currency exchange, he had more bang for his buck over there in Brazil. Fast forward, brings this girl to America and realizes that she doesn't add a lot of value to his life, or not as much as his brother, which is why they're still living with this brother. And the real problem I see with guys like Patrick is that they promise these girls the world and then they use money to hold over their heads. And whenever the girl has a problem in the relationship, they say, well, I'm paying for everything. Yeah, but you promised to pay for everything, bro. This dude only entered a relationship with Thais because of her looks, so he should have verified that she was a hardworking girl before he put her on scholarship and brought her over to America. But hey, he can lift heavy weights, so I'm sure everything's gonna work out.
I promise Orlando's gonna be great. We're gonna have everything there. We'll have a DJ, we'll have really good food, and it'll be a good time.
Wow, a DJ? What is this, a bar mitzvah, bro? How many shots have we seen of your Tesla? Patrick's also said to the audience that he makes about $1,000 a day. I would have thought that he would splurge a little bit and get a live musician, like an Ed Sheeran type, you know what I'm saying, that just sits there with a guitar for like 2 hours. I don't know if this is public knowledge or not, but the show pays for a lot of the dates and everything, so I feel like if he split it with the show, he'd be able to throw a hell of a wedding. Next day, Thais meets up with her friends, Nadia and Kayla. She met Kayla at that party that John threw at the house that he didn't tell, you know, Patrick and Thais that he was gonna throw until it was about a couple hours before the party. We've all been in situations in our lives where we're a little bit short on cash and it feels like the walls are caving in. And with the increased prices of food, water, gas, life overall, it can feel very stressful, but you know who can help relieve a lot of that stress is Dave. Dave is the banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. That's more money to fill up your tank, buy groceries, or catch up on a lot of your old bills. With this help from Dave, you can finally tackle those expenses that have been really stressing you out without any hangups or I can't help yous. And the best part is there's no interest and no credit check needed, which is so fire. Don't just take it from me because millions of people worldwide have already downloaded the Dave app to get the financial relief that they need. So if you're in a pinch and need some extra help, download Dave and think about it as a helping hand from future you. Download Dave today at dave.com/yourwetsock. That's dave.com/yourwetsock. Sign up for an extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve. Member FDIC. Now let's get back to roasting these cringe people on the show. Luckily, Thais hit it off with Kayla, and then she introduced her to her friend Nadia, who is Brazilian and speaks Portuguese. So Thais loves hanging out with her because they speak the same language. I actually thought it was common knowledge that in Brazil they speak Portuguese, but apparently John doesn't know that.
It is a little early for some beer.
No bueno.
Thais tells her friends that she hasn't told her dad that she's gonna get married to Patrick, and her friends tell Thais what we've all been thinking.
I think you need to tell him. He's your family. He's still gonna love you no matter what, even if it's not what he wants.
Thais also informs her friends that she's really mad at Patrick right now because he chose the makeup artist that she's going to use for their wedding without making sure with her that that's the makeup artist she wanted to use. He just went ahead and booked it. And sister's hella mad about this on period because what if she doesn't like the style that the makeup artist uses? Usually these makeup artists that do weddings get booked up in advance, so it is a big time contract and it is something that you would want, right? Like you would want to have a say in what your makeup is going to look like on your wedding day. So I understand why she's she's upset about this. I just want to see Patrick's side of the story, because what makeup your girl's gonna have is something that dudes really don't give a f about. Next couple we look at is Kara and Guillermo, and right now Kara's high-key stressing because it's about 2 days before her wedding, and she's a very detail-orientated person. She wants to make sure that everything's perfect before the day, and Guillermo is very laid back.
Guillermo has not really helped with anything. I mean, he's there for me emotionally. And then like fix it so it looks cute, yeah.
Does it look good?
It looks great. And not to his fault. I don't trust him with it.
All right, this right here is a problem that a lot of people have with Kara, is because she'll say that Guillermo isn't, you know, pulling his weight in the relationship, and then she'll show a clip of him actually doing a task, or like doing what she just said he wasn't doing. Very similar to Patrick, because Thais wants more responsibility and wants to be able to do more things. But because Kara and Patrick are very controlling in a relationship setting, they want to do the task, and then they take their frustrations or almost feel resentful and feel overwhelmed like they're doing all the work in the relationship. They take that out on their respective partners, and their respective partners, both Thais and Guillermo, are just asking for more responsibility. They're happy to carry more weight in the relationship. It's just that those two don't delegate and don't give them that responsibility.
Can I help you with something else?
Make sure that you have an English version and a Spanish version of your vows that we can print.
Do you trust me?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're making me nervous, you know?
Tranquila.
It's easy for you to tell me not to be stressed out. Like, how do you want to look on your wedding day?
Like, how do you want to look on your wedding day? Unnecessary thing to say. Kara herself is stressed out and taking that stress on her partner, and she doesn't think that he's going to get it done. But until he doesn't get it done, then you have a right to be angry at him. If he says he's going to get all this stuff done, then why are you saying that?
I will get my haircut. I will have my vows. Everything's gonna be okay.
Translated in English and Spanish.
Claro que sí.
Is someone gonna check the English version so that it makes sure it sounds right?
Tranquila.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those people that really hates when people talk down to me or repeat things like I didn't understand the first time. Kara, you already said that to him. If you're stressed out, take that time for yourself. Go work out, go on a walk, do something to relieve that stress. You shouldn't take that stress out on your partner. It's not a good look.
Okay. I mean, it's your wedding. If you want to recite something poorly, like, you know, with poor grammar at your...
So you are telling me that my words are gonna be poor? The only thing I'm telling you right now is that everything is gonna be okay, and you are putting words in my mouth.
I think out of the entire cast from this season, I like Kobe and Guillermo's demeanor the most. I like the way that they carry themselves. They're very patient with their partners when their partners are putting a lot of passive-aggressive energy on them, or just outright saying demeaning things, because I can tell you firsthand, a lot of guys wouldn't be as patient as these two have been the entire season. Guillermo then says to the audience that he's really worried that the controlling Kara is coming back, and he's scared that this is what it's going to be like for his entire marriage, because their wedding is in 2 days, and he's doing that thing where a lot of people do, where you're in a relationship and you think that having a kid or getting married is going to solve all the problems and you're going to work everything out. Nah, you should work all those problems out before you get married or before you have children together, because the added stress of both things is just going to amplify everything else.
The best part about living with Bilal is that he is super caring. He is a super romantic individual.
Man, I actually thought it was really romantic when he tried to drop you off on the highway. Forget Cinderella. That was just like Prince Eric who, which that.
And he has a very nice picnic at the park planned for us today. So I'm looking forward to this time.
Shy seems like she has the memory of a golden retriever, because anytime this dude does something nice for her, she just sweeps all the passive aggressiveness and all the loaded things that he's done to her under the rug, which is sus, because I feel like if any other girl that respected herself was subjected to all the loaded things that Bilal has put this girl through, it would have been out a long time ago and already booked that flight back to Trinidad. As they're enjoying the sunshine in this picnic, Shy thinks that it's a good time to tell Bilal that his ex-wife came over looking for problems and was very aggressive, talking about the prenup and a lot of loaded conversation topics.
I felt as if she came with an agenda to bully me and intimidate me.
We covered the conversation between Shy and the ex-wife in the last video, so if you haven't seen that video yet, definitely watch that video after this video, because the conversation was very telling about the character of Bilal's ex-wife. Bilal's response when Shy tells him this is basically, oh, that sucks because I wanted y'all to have a good relationship, and then he proceeds to describe and just define what marriage is.
Marriage is a contract. When you get married, you're signing a contract. You're signing a license. So it's not to say that marriage has to be a business,
He wants her to sign a contract that basically says she's not entitled to any of his money, which is something that I think is fair because he built that wealth himself, and he built that wealth with his ex-wife, which is why she feels a certain kind of way about it. But what this guy fails to acknowledge is that this girl is also giving up a lot to be with him, and if their relationship doesn't work out, she has no protection. What happens to her? She just gets on the plane, goes back to Trinidad, and wasted her time. And another problem I'm seeing is that Bilal said that he wants to have a child with Shae until she came to the United States, and then all of a sudden it seems like he's changed his mind because he dodges that subject whenever she brings it up. Right now, Yve and Mohamed are on the car ride to go see the wedding venue, and she's so hype about it. This girl has been waiting so long to get married to this dude. She's projected all these feelings onto him. He is not excited to get married to her at all. He clearly does not want to be there.
Mohammed is upset because I pushed the wedding back, but
the venue that I had found fell through, so today we're going on our tour for the new venue.
Let me know what your guys' conspiracy theories are about this in the comments below, but do you think the wedding venue actually fell through, or she just did that on purpose to hold the green card over this dude's head so that he can still watch her kid for free? Not to mention, if she marries this dude right away and files his paperwork, what's to prevent him from just leaving her?
Oh my gosh, look! That's it right there. Oh my God, I don't want to cry right now, but I'm just like, this has just been such a hard road.
She's so hype and he does not give one fuck. She comes across so desperate here because she wants him to just live in the moment and be excited to marry her, and he's just not. Like, how could you pull up to this nice place, this beautiful venue, and not get excited about that and not get a little jitters or butterflies? Because it looks like the perfect venue to have a storybook wedding, and from the look of Mohammed's face, he does not even want to be there.
She's distracted, and all what she cares about right now is having her perfect wedding. Pushing the wedding couple weeks will affect me seeing my family because I can't travel to Egypt until I receive my green card.
Oh, Yve's the distracted one because you guys are on 90 Day Fiancé and she cares about the wedding and you don't. You only care about seeing your family back home in Egypt, but she's the one that's distracted. As Yve and Mohamed walked inside the venue, Yve is just floored at how beautiful this place is. Meanwhile, Mohamed is very concerned about getting his green card and starting work right away in America. So they are on two completely different pages.
Oh my gosh, this is the dining room.
Yve then informs Mohamed that she wants her friends that he hates to be part of the ceremony because they're ordained.
I want to get married in the mosque, so I feel like I got married in my religion, and we can get married much sooner in the mosque.
She wants this storybook wedding. Really hard to feel bad for Yve because she knew what kind of man Mohamed was before she brought him over to the United States.
this is a big deal for me, like to have this moment.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
Next, we see Guillermo finally getting his hair cut, and he opens up with his hairstylist about his relationship problems, which is mad weird, but he doesn't have any friends in the United States, and hairstylists usually love to hear what the tea is, so this was bound to happen.
She likes to tell me not for many things, and I mean, she really likes to go out, and maybe it's too much.
I'm happy this clip happened because Kara and Guillermo have a fundamental difference about them, and that's the fact that Kara craves attention and really has that kind of personality where she constantly has to have that stimulation of being around people, and Guillermo doesn't. The good news for Kara is that she's working real estate, which is the perfect job for her personality type. But for Guillermo, he wants to find his own career, his own identity, starting off in a new country, and wants to work, and he doesn't want to spend his time every weekend going out and getting drunk with Kara's friends. And she'll often make plans without telling Guillermo before, so he'll feel obligated to join because she already told her friends that he was coming. And then it's almost like you have to act fake and act like everything's okay when you don't even want to be there, which is a very uncomfortable position to be thrown in. Guillermo also told the audience that Kara has no problem leaving him at home and going out to get shit-faced with her friends, and he feels some kind of way about that. Not to mention Kara's ex-boyfriend, the wannabe Jack Harlow, outed the fact that Kara cheated on him in high school, and that's something that her 90 Day Fiancé Guillermo knew nothing about. And when he confronted her about it and said, wow, that's pretty messed up that you cheated on your ex-boyfriend, and that's concerning for me because what if you cheat on me? She just downplayed the situation so hard, which made it more sus.
We were homecoming king and homecoming queen. We would have been prom king and prom queen.
But you can't win both.
Twice.
You can't win both.
Twice.
Yeah.
I was best dressed. She was best dressed.
Nothing like seeing two people that peaked in high school 10 years later at the reunion. For this, the ex-boyfriend and Kara were just talking solo, and Guillermo was at another table talking to somebody else. While they were talking, it was so jokes because the ex-boyfriend is one of those kids we went to high school with that's still trying to be a SoundCloud rapper. And he was kind of flirting with Kara, saying, hey, why don't you hop on a track with me sometime, Kara? And Kara really liked the attention.
She's right now
know, a kind of person that likes to say what she wants, and she
gets it, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this is what you do. Tell her no, bro. If you don't feel the same way, say no. Because I ain't gonna lie, Kara's controlling.
As uncomfortable as this kid is talking to her ex, the ex is giving Guillermo good advice. The ex-boyfriend SoundCloud rapper goes on to say that he doesn't think that they're gonna work out because Guillermo seems too passive and Kara's just gonna walk all over that and chew him out. When she gets bored, she's gonna move on. He also points to himself and says that Guillermo's not enough man, like implying that he's enough man for Kara, so he is also trying to clap cheeks.
I'm not even gonna lie, bro. We were up each other's asses. Because we were young, bro. We were young.
You know,
I kind of respect how this guy has just no filter and he's just saying this directly to the current fiance's face. That's funny. You know, up each other's asses could mean a lot of different things. Y'all have a double-sided dildo, or just like metaphorically, you guys were in each other's business all the time?
Yeah, we were. I'm not gonna lie, we were in love bad.
We were in love, G. The ex is actually growing on me. Seems like a dude I'd play Warzone with. He has no filter and he's pretty entertaining. I would actually prefer to see a dude like this on the show than Guillermo.
We were laying in the bed. Her phone went off.
Whoa!
She sleep. I'm up. So I would go through her text messages. She was like, it was so good seeing you. Like, that kiss was amazing. What do you think I did?
Yeah, you probably lost
Woke
it.
her up out of her sleep.
Middle of the
Said,
night.
what is this?
Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, but I really like that the ex-boyfriend told Guillermo what happened and told him the truth, and it's almost like a bro looking out for another bro. I don't like how Kara's in the background like, yeah, that happened. It's almost like this girl fails to acknowledge that what she did was a bad thing. Kara goes on to look shocked and say to the audience that, oh my god, I didn't remember that. But now that I think about it, I did cheat on him and kiss that guy in massage school, but like I literally haven't thought about that in 10 years. Something really toxic that I see about Kara is that she needs validation from other people. Specifically in this conversation, she wanted her ex's validation.
But the one moment she shows you, you can't trust her, go about your life, bro. That's speaking from man to man. I'm telling you right now.
Snaps for the ex. Dude seems chill and gave really solid advice to Guillermo. Now let's go back to present day, because after Guillermo received his haircut and got really good advice from his hairstylist, him and Kara go to a nice dinner and he brings up a lot of these concerns that he has with Kara about their relationship and what she's gonna work on in their relationship. He just wants to make sure that they work out a lot of these issues, or at least she promises and gives a verbal commitment to work out a lot of the issues before they get married.
Are you really questioning me about these things 2 days before our wedding? Don't you think you should have had this like figured out a little bit?
So don't you think that before our wedding, I'm not gonna have questions?
Maybe like before
So
you
do
propose
do
to
you think
someone.
that I proposed to you like more than a year ago?
And a year ago you felt different?
I mean, yeah, Kara, you guys were living in Dominican Republic. It's completely different from living in the United States. And realistically, the best relationships are the ones where the two people in the relationship fall in love with every version. But in order to do that, it takes work. You need to work on yourself. Sometimes you need to make compromises. Example A, I used to have a problem creating food monsters. I would leave my leftovers in the fridge and let them get old. And you know what happened? My girlfriend was like, hey, you need to work on it. You need to eat those leftovers. And I was like, you're damn right. And I started eating these leftovers, and now I'm not creating food monsters anymore, Kara.
I respect you. I understand
Oh,
you.
so you're saying you don't feel respected?
Exactly.
That snippy, dismissive attitude. He's looking for reassurance right now. And the fact that he's feeling disrespected in this relationship and there's certain things you can work on and you're not acknowledging the things that you can work on. I'm sure that if you actually listened to this man and gave him that reassurance and said you're gonna work on these things, you could also present things that he could work on and he would do it.
It's not really the time to be asking those kinds of questions, and it's, yeah, take some time. Like, don't marry me if you feel that way. If you're not confident in marrying me, then don't.
That is such a shitty response. It just seems like she doesn't respect Guillermo in the same way that he respects her, because she's showing all the signs that she doesn't respect her partner. Otherwise, she would listen to what he's saying. I'm happy that this dude is speaking up, because it's better to speak up even if it's bad timing than to not say anything at all and then get married and just expect that these things are going to work themselves out, which is what I think he was doing until he had that conversation with the hairdresser that was dropping knowledge bombs on his head. Even though Kara's older than him and often refers to herself as a cougar, she has zero sense of self-reflection.
Whatever. I don't know how more simple I can make that. I am who I am. I like what I like. The time to ask someone to be different is not 2 days before the wedding.
I have questions. I mean,
whatever.
Oh, the hand flick, whatever. Oh, I'd be so mad. It's really sad that any point Guillermo made, she just minimizes that point. And she keeps saying things like, this is who I am. And if if you really love this dude, you would be willing to work on yourself to make sure that this relationship thrives. From your unwillingness to actually face yourself or face your flaws, it just shows us that you're not emotionally mature enough to be in this relationship. And even though this dude is younger than you, he is leaps and bounds ahead of you emotional maturity wise.
What is that?
You don't know. You don't know.
So after Kara basically says, I am who I am, she stands up and says, let's go. Come on, why are you still sitting? This girl's being so disrespectful to Guillermo here. In her intro, she introduced herself as the definition of the party girl. I feel like if you define yourself as the definition of a party guy or party girl, it just means that you're diving into alcohol and partying and stimulation from all these different people to distract yourself from actually working on yourself and growing as a human being. And it's such a funny because when she said she was the definition of a party girl, she said it like that was a flex, and it's just never been a flex. Next NPCs we see are John and Patrick. They are going suit shopping for the wedding, and John says that he's lucky that his brother brought him because he has a wicked awesome style.
He's pretty lucky to have me along today because my taste is impetuous.
John admits that he's really looking forward to having this alone time with Patrick because Thais will often sneak around and listen in on their conversations, and he finds that incredibly off-putting because he feels like he can't have a private conversation with his brother in their own house. So John takes this moment to ask Patrick the hard-hitting questions that he can't ask him when they're at home.
Well, she sends me the makeup artist, so I'm like, cool, book it.
Right.
So I book it, sign the contract, and then it goes into this big thing. She's like, well, I didn't even talk to them. So it's just driving me crazy.
Aside.
So when John asks Patrick these questions, he says that it's not easy for me to open up and be honest about how I'm feeling or share my feelings with people, but it's natural for me to squat 600 pounds. I don't understand why people are weak as shit. It's natural for you to squat 600 pounds because you dedicated majority of your life to powerlifting. Just like anybody can do anything they set their mind to. If you're working hard for like 6 hours a day at something, you're probably gonna be proficient at what you're doing. So here's a crazy idea, bro. Why don't you apply that same work ethic that you have in the gym into communicating? Fast forward, Patrick gets home and unloads on Thais and just opens up about the frustration that he's feeling. He feels overwhelmed. He feels like he's doing majority of the work in the relationship, and he wants to communicate that to his fiance.
Do you really think, like, I want to wake up, make your breakfast, get you ready, get Theodore ready?
I do nothing?
And then come home, and then sometimes I make dinner, sometimes you like, and work, like, and pay for everything. Do you really think, like, I want to do that forever?
I think it's clear to everybody that has watched their segment that it's lust that connects them and not love. For Thais, you need to carry more weight around the household. Like, this is ridiculous. If this guy's going to work and he's making breakfast and he's making dinner, he's gonna feel resentful because he's gonna feel extremely overwhelmed and tired and feel like he's not getting heels or supported, or you're not carrying enough weight around the house. I know she's about cooking everything because she made mustard ketchup rubber chicken in the last episode. Every time we see this girl on the show, she's complaining about something and she just seems overall bored. So if she wants more responsibility, he needs to delegate more responsibility her way, and she needs to actually put in more of an effort.
Eu não tô te pedindo pra cuidar de mim igual meu pai, entendeu? I have some days to know if I want to marry you or no.
Yeah, I mean, we both do.
You don't want to marry me? Yeah, why would he want to marry you? At this rate, it's like he feels like he's doing all the work in the relationship and you're not doing anything. It just seems like Thais wants to be treated like a princess without putting any effort into the relationship.
Nós estamos conversando sobre nosso problema do jeito que você é, entendeu? Eu quero que você fala comigo e eu quero ajudar. E porque eu sou uma pessoa muito comunicativa.
That you're such a communicated person, you won't even tell your dad that you're gonna get married to Patrick. Like, come on. This girl's so manipulative and often dodges the question about her telling her father. What do you mean you're talking about his bad behavior? There's also your bad behavior. Like, you have bad behavior too, or lack thereof, because if this dude's working, the least she can do is make sure that he has a good dinner and a good breakfast. In summary, with matters concerning Patrick and Thais, the honeymoon stage is just about over. The ending scene of this episode shows Yve crying on the bed, and she says to the audience, does Mohammed just think he can come to this country and I'm replaceable? It's hurtful. He's putting doubts in my head. What's that saying? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I've seen a lot of outrage online directed at Mohammed, which I understand, but if we take our emotions out of the situation, you'll realize that this girl saved a lot of money by bringing Mohammed here. So this Egyptian gym rat has been a free babysitter for a kid with special needs for 2 months, saving her a buttload of money because that costs a lot. Not to mention with this dude at home watching her son, she's been able to work more, so productivity has doubled. And let's take a step back and compare them to Patrick and Thais. I see Thais rocking Lululemon and she's gone on many dates. He even took her on a trip to Las Vegas. Mohammed hasn't gotten since he came to America. He's been watching this kid the entire time. I haven't seen this couple have one date night.
This sponsor thing, I just trying to help our situation.
Why would you say that to me, though? That's like saying, oh, I'm just gonna come over here and find another person to marry.
That's not what I said.
These two are having massive communication problems, so I'm gonna do my best to explain what's really happening here. So Mohammed never said that he wants to bring another girl into the mix or he wants to marry another girl. He said that he wants to bring another sponsor into the mix, which they're allowed to have a joint sponsor. The problem I see with Mohammed, though, to obtain the work permit, it's all Googleable. Like, realistically, you just Google search every single term that pops up, and eventually it's gonna lead you down the rabbit hole to the government websites where you have to submit your documents and fill out all your information. He can do all the shit himself, but the problem is that this guy's a mama's boy that is very incompetent, that is used to having someone wipe his ass for him back home in Egypt.
Insane.
You don't know the immigration rules, I'm telling you. That's
You
the
don't
problem.
apparently know the rules either.
Not to mention it's naive for this dude to assume that someone's gonna want to step up and be financially responsible for him. Like, I'm sure he has a close relationship with that Rafi dude at the mosque, but there's no way homie's gonna step up to the plate.
Like,
Look,
if you love me, you will understand.
I have
I
dreams
know that.
and goals, and if I'm not
Well, I
going
have
to be
dreams too to
allowed
have a
here,
nice wedding.
that's your dream. I have another dreams.
I really don't think that Yve was 100% transparent with Mohammed about how long he would be watching Theron. Because if you guys remember the conversation that she had with Mohammed about watching Theron, he said to the audience, I don't mind occasionally watching Theron, but I don't want this to be my identity because I want to accomplish things here in America and I have my own dreams. Yeah, fast forward, his entire identity and purpose while here in America is watching Theron for free. Meanwhile, Yve's delusional dream is to have the perfect wedding, a fairy tale wedding for Yve. What's the point of balling out and spending all your bands on this beautiful venue if the rest of your marriage is hell? In episode 14, Thais finally compromises with Patrick and agrees to tell her father that they're planning on getting married.
A gente vai casar esse mês.
No, God, please, no!
Para ela ficar aqui e sou vista, nós temos 90 dias.
Because for her to stay in America, we have to get married in the 90 days. Really, Patrick? You know what the dad would have rather heard? I love your daughter and I want to spend the rest of my life making her happy. Also, the more that I think about it, if you really cared about the dad's approval, why didn't you ask for his permission before you proposed to her?
Como você teve a audácia assim de ficar, ficou esse tanto de tempo aí e agora você vem me falar que vai casar?
This is so awkward. He has every right to be angry, though. She did handle the situation very poorly. Thais then communicates to her father that it's more convenient for her to get married right away so that she can get the green card and then be able to travel back to Brazil and then back to America and not have any restrictions. But not one mention about her being in love with Patrick, the guy that she's planning on spending the rest of her life with, which is a huge red flag. Thais also communicates to her father that if they don't get married in the 90 days, then they will have to break up, which is an ultimatum that I never saw Patrick place on her. But if that's really the case, I'm curious why they would have to break up if they don't get married in the 90 days. Just makes no sense to me.
His initial reaction was like shock.
He's probably thinking you're the ass, and now you're marrying his daughter without his consent.
John's like the devil on Patrick's shoulder that's always trying to break these two up because he wants his wingman back and he wants to once again turn the house into the bachelor pad, start sending sleuths with his brother again, have wicked awesome parties at the house. By the way, John's in the garage because Patrick summoned him for moral support while Thais talks to her father outside. Thais' dad makes it very clear to her that he does not approve of Patrick and American men in general, and he wants her to come back home to Brazil. And right now it's really not looking good for Patrick because it seems like a lot of his words are hitting home with Thais, and she is convinced that she should go back home to Brazil. Now back over to Yve and Mohamed because they are the main characters in this video. Right now they're talking in the kitchen about the fight that they had the previous night. Mohamed says, I'm sorry, Yve, for my behavior last night. I didn't want to fight with you. I'm not even gonna lie, when Mohamed apologized, I thought that Yve would have more concerns to express with him, but she just swept all of his behavior from the previous night under the rug and forgave him so fast, and I was shooketh. Later that day, Yve meets up with her friend Tatiana because she booked an appointment for cupping at Yve's place of work, and she starts cupping her and they start gossiping about Mohamed and what happened with the fight the previous night. Now when Yve drops the fact that Mohamed mentioned that he would be up for having another sponsor, her friend feels some kind of way about that.
Did he just refer to you as his sponsor?
It is. I am his sponsor.
But I know, but if That's mean.
Yve then tells her friend Tatiana that she really wants the squad to give Mohammed another chance and for them to all get together to clear the air because I think the last meetup left a sour taste in everybody's mouth. Mohammed finally caves and he agrees to be part of this spiritual bonfire that Yve is gonna do with her friends.
I will be nice if they are nice to me.
For someone so toxic, he has a very calm demeanor and I haven't seen him raise his voice at Yve one time on the show.
Have you guys all get a stick? Anything that you feel like you want to release?
Yes.
You blow, and you can do as many as you want.
So I wrote stuff. Like
Cool.
I have a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
I
you
have
can...
an intention for you.
Aw.
Yes, and then I have a few that I'm going to be releasing and also manifesting.
The way he looks up like, what kind of bird is manifestation? I thought the state bird in New Mexico was the roadrunner and they don't fly. So he begins his cleansing ritual by putting her healing stones over the fire and Mohammed admits that he has no idea what's going on. He's got a big smile on his face and he says he feels like he's in a movie.
Take them and cast your light upon us, for the night is dark and full of terrors.
Dude's like a fish out of water, but at least he's present because a lot of hardcore Muslim bros wouldn't have even showed up to this.
Haram! We need the will of God. We need Allah. Listen, I'm ready for the asteroid. I've had enough.
I was worried there for a second, Mohammed, because I thought you didn't like us anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't like us?
No.
Him telling the friends this with a smile on his face took me out. I thought this was so jokes. What do you expect, Yve? You picked a guy from a completely different religion and culture from you. I do respect the fact that Mohammed keeps it real and says what's on his mind, even though in the other segments he can be very toxic.
Well, but do you understand, though, that we're just, like, looking out for Yve and making sure that she's okay? Because we don't know you.
The way you were asking me the questions, it was like investigation.
Yeah, no,
something.
absolutely.
Yve's friends 100% deserve to be called out for their constant baiting and inappropriate questions that they've been asking this dude. Yve will constantly play the victim for the situation she placed herself in, and she plays both sides. It seems like she wants validation from both her friends and Mohammed, and I think that she needs to respect herself more and find someone closer to her age. Also, I'm a little confused why the friends are acting like they don't understand why he's still upset with them. They asked him about sex and if he knew what to do with his penis, and a whole bunch of really inappropriate questions to ask someone that you just met for the first time, let alone a Muslim man. It's so crazy the difference one episode can make, because in the last episode, episode 13, I was like, Yve, you need to send this guy back to Egypt. And then in this episode, I'm like, is Mohammed starting to grow on me? In my next video, I'm going to go into further detail about Cara and Guillermo, because she had her bachelorette party and Guillermo was downstairs with their dog, Cheeky Mama. He was staying real quiet downstairs. Meanwhile, Cara invited all her friends over for her bachelorette party. They started ripping shots and talking trash about Guillermo while he was downstairs, which was really awkward. Like, I don't know what the point is of having a bachelorette party only to bash your fiance when you're about to get married the next day. We're also going to do a deep dive into Bilal and Shaeeda because they've been talking about this prenup for about 5 episodes. It's really boring. Comment below, subscribe, follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.